everyone, thank you so much for being here today. My name is Denise. I'm also known as heywigsister on Instagram and Facebook. Today I'm here to bring you a wig review. I'm here to show you the brand new style PIEMONTE Super, hope I said that right, from the Wille MODIXX line, which is a brand new line of wigs. This is a brand new style, and the color is Bernstein multi-shaded. In this video, I'm going to tell you all about this style, all my impressions. I'm going to show you this color inside and outside, and I'm going to compare it to light Bernstein rooted, which is another Wille color that you might be wondering about. So let's get going. I would like to thank Name Brand Wigs once again for sending me this wig to review. I have been so blessed by them the past few months with so many opportunities to do reviews and bring you new styles. It has been such fun, and I'm very grateful for it. So thank you guys so much for trusting me with these reviews and allowing me to have all of these experiences and opportunities so that I can share them with all of our wig sisters. This wig is a fully hand-tied wig. The cap is hand-tied, and if you're looking for a super polished, super low density, very flat, no poof wig, this one is going to check all of those boxes for you. Let's look at this one from all sides. Okay, I'm going to mess around with the back, and I want you to look at how the density and how the hair moves. So I filmed this, the outside part of this video already yesterday so I could get the color outside. It's raining today and I knew that was going to happen. So I got the outside look filmed yesterday, and it was super windy. And you got to see this wig like going like this, blowing all around, and to see not only how great this density is, but how wonderful it is to have a hand-tied cap. That is going to be toward the end of this video. You'll get to see that. But I really want to point out the density of this wig is low, but because the cap is hand-tied, there's going to be no worry about seeing wefting, and so you can wear this one with confidence in all weather conditions. This cap does run a little small, though, I will warn you. Wille is kind of known for running a little bit on the average petite end of the scale, but in the last few years, some of their wigs have been fitting a little bigger, so there's been a question about whether or not they have increased the cap size a little bit. My Girl Monos fit me a little bit looser than this one. This one is fairly snug on my circumference. I can still wear it. My circumference is 22 inches, and I don't have this cinched in at all. I get the tiniest bit of extra cap right here in the top. Not enough to really be uncomfortable, but if your measurements are a little bit bigger than mine over the top of your head, the ear to ear or the front to back, then I think you'll be able to wear this one. It's really that circumference at 22 inches. I'm hesitant to recommend any larger than 22 inches, and even then it's a little snug. So if you struggle with wigs being too tight or you get headaches from wigs often, I would really caution you against wearing this one kind of any bigger than 22 inches, maybe even like 21 3/4 or 21.8 or something. It does have a little bit of stretch, but it's not super stretchy, and the stretch is, it's a tough tug to get it to stretch, but it does have stretch, and I have tried wigs in the past that did not have very much stretch. This does have a little bit. So just look at my measurements in the description and try to compare them against yours to see how it might work for you. I get really great coverage on it, though. It really does cover my bio hair well. The ear tabs fall exactly where I like them. This is sort of the sweet spot for me. The top of my ear, the bottom of the ear tab. I like the bottom of the ear tab to be a little bit below the top of my ear on the plane, and then a little bit in front of my ear, and that gives me the best coverage. And so this one really gives me good coverage, and the reason why that's important is because I do like to tuck straight wigs, and I can tuck this one really, really well, and I don't have to worry about showing any of my bio hair, which is awesome. And quite honestly, wearing glasses with it and all of those things is going to be just a breeze with this one as far as how it fits on me. I'm going to pause this video for a second and change my battery. I'll be right back. Alright guys, thanks for putting up with real life. So this wig has a lace front and a full mono top, so you can part this one anywhere. Let's take a look at that lace front. I love Ellen Wille lace fronts. I think they do such a good job. So there you can see, and then there you can see how it goes right down and blends in. I sometimes have to trim my Ellen Wille lace fronts. Let me just make sure it's not folded in there. Because sometimes they can be a little long, but I'm not feeling the need to do that on this one. And they took all of these light colors all the way up to the front so that you don't have any dark knotting. Really nice. The lace goes from here to here, so you've got some good space to work with as far as styling goes. So if you want to pull the hair up off the face, you can do that with confidence. But something I've noticed that they really did a good job on, and I'm going to have to look at some other Ellen Wille wigs to see if it's pretty typical, is they did a great job of hiding the transition between the lace front and when the cap starts. Sometimes that transition line is so prominent that you really can't even take the styling up to the very edge of the lace, but this one you totally can. It looks very realistic. They did a great job. And I want you to watch how I can just run my hands through this hair, and it's just because of that hand-tied cap, it's so realistic. It just moves so naturally. I just love it. Now you can part it anywhere you want because it has a full mono top. So if you're someone who, you know, maybe the left mono part wigs, which is the kind of the typical mono part, don't work for you, you can part this one anywhere, in the center, on the right, however you want to part it, and you will be just good to go. So let's take a look at this cap. It has no permatease, very low density. Actually too low of a density. If this were a wefted cap, I'd be worried, but all of this is hand tied. The only wefting you have is at the very nape here. It's closed wefting, and that's become really common with hand tied wigs. One of the reasons I think they do it down here is because that helps the nape to lay flat. So let's just quickly talk about what hand tied really means. Hand tied means they took each individual strand of hair and they tied it into the cap individually. That gives a wig the most natural movement because that hair can now swirl around on the axis of that knot, versus when they do a weft, it's all sewn in a track together and you don't get as much of a natural movement. It kind of moves as a big clump and can only move in a very limited direction. At the nape, that's actually really good because it keeps the hair flat at the nape and really minimizes tangling. You don't have to worry about tangling on this one because it's so short in the nape, but for longer wigs, that can be really helpful. So this is all hand tied. So when you're outside in the wind, you're not going to see anything. Everybody's going to think that this is just growing out of your head. That's the back of the wig because of the fact that it's hand tied back there, which is a great benefit. It's also a costlier cap feature, so these are going to be a little more expensive for sure. So then you've got a full mono top and a lace front. That line right there is a line of reinforcement between the lace in the front and the monofilament. Any monotop wig, I don't think I've ever seen one that didn't have that line. The biggest concern about that line is how well you can see it. So I'm going to show that to you in just a second. It has very soft ear tabs with the bendable stays, an extended nape, Velcro adjusters. Really love that. So great cap features, great construction. These fibers are super soft. I really think this wig is going to be a workhorse. I have had great experience with Ellen Wille wigs having longevity. My girl monos last a really long time. And this one I think is going to last. I think the cap will wear out before anything else just because of the length. And if you care for it properly, I think you're going to get a lot of life out of this one. So let's talk about that line real quick and then we'll talk about the color. So let me just look in my mirror here because it's harder to see in my phone or in my camera. Right there is that line. Now, couple things. It's back far enough that people aren't going to see it on a regular basis when you're just out and about talking to people, you know, doing your daily life. That's too far back. You're not going to be able to see it. If you work in a job or a place where you're often looking up at people and they're above you, maybe you sit at a desk and that they're at a counter or something, and you look down every now and then, and so they'd be looking at the top of your head. It is possible someone will see it in that situation. I think it would be rare. Most people aren't staring at the top of your head. Let's really be honest about that. But if you're someone who would be really bothered by that, a little bit of translucent powder or makeup just dabbed onto the part line will not only help enhance that part and make it look a little more realistic, it'll hide that a little bit. So it is easily dealt with. So please don't worry about that. You can work with that. And I think why you can see it a little more than you can sometimes on certain wigs is because this has really low density. That's the trade-off. If you want a low density, low poof wig, then you're going to have to trade something else for that. And that may be one of the trade-offs. If you like volume, you're not getting it out of this one. So, you know, honestly, you guys, I don't want anybody to make a bad purchase because I'm raving about it. It's a super cute wig, but it really doesn't have volume. I do think, though, that if you use some Tress-Allure wig wax or some dry shampoo or other like texturizing spray, I think you can get it messed up just a little bit. John Renault Peace Out Cream, that you can make it so it doesn't look so sleek, but you're not going to get a lot of long-lasting volume out of it. This style reminds me quite a bit of Coty by Amore. That one has more of a bang. This one does have a little bit of a bang, but not quite like Coty did. That's what this style reminds me of a little bit. This one for bangs, you can cut a bang in this so easily. The template's already built for you, just a little bit of trimming and you're gold. But because of the way that they tied these fibers in and the density and the light wispy fibers, this is a super kind of low denier, light denier wig. You're going to be able to push those bangs aside no problem if you don't like bangs. Let's get to color. Light Bernstein Rooted is here. This is my Girl Mono in Light Bernstein Rooted. This is that brand new color, which I haven't memorized yet, Bernstein Multi-Shaded. So, what did I notice about these two? Well, they have the exact same color codes. The color codes on this are 12, 27, 26. Both of them have the same color code. I looked at both of these kind of side by side. They're virtually identical in color. Harder to tell with a curly versus straight. How color demonstrates on a wig will vary when you have curls, but for the most part, they're very similar. So if you like this color, if you've had Light Bernstein Rooted before with the code, remember, Ellen Wille might have a Light Bernstein Rooted that has a little bit of a different code. I think you'll like this color. So they're very similar. You've got a 12, which is a light brown, a 27, which is a strawberry blonde, and a 26, which is a golden blonde. And it's all on a little bit of a darker root. I don't have the rooting number. I think it's probably, let me take it off and look at it. I think it's probably an 8, maybe. It's not a super dark root, and they did such a good job of making it a shadow as opposed to a thicker root. So it just really looks natural, like you got your hair highlighted, and you know, they didn't take the highlights all the way up to the scalp. It definitely has an auburn feel to it. So it pulls an auburn, like a reddish brown and auburn. It's not dark though. When I first got Light Bernstein Rooted, it felt very blonde to me. As a brunette who had been wearing very dark wigs for a long time, it felt kind of blonde to me. Even though now that I look at it, it's really more auburn and it's more of a light brown. I've gotten used to wearing blondes, and so this no longer looks blonde to me, but I do remember it feeling blonde. So if you're looking at this color and you're trying to decide if it's a good color for you, the questions I would ask myself are, can I wear kind of auburns, light auburns, reddish toned wigs? Because this one's going to pull a little red, a little auburn. That strawberry blonde in there is on its way to an auburn. Can I wear lighter colors? So if you're used to wearing dark browns and 4s and 6s and, you know, deeper brown colors, it's going to feel really light, but it could be a good transition wig for you if you're hoping to get to the blondes at some point. This was a transition wig for me from brunette to blonde, and it worked swimmingly, so it was great. The golden blonde that's in here is in little bits of highlight. So on this one, I can see some of those little bits of highlight. Do you see that one right there? Right here, right here. Those are all the kind of the golden blonde highlight. Similarly, in this wig, you will see it, but it will not be as pronounced because it blends a little bit better. All the fibers lay together uniformly. So you've got some, I think you can maybe see one like right around here, but they don't stick out like they do on a curly wig because they're blending a little bit. All right, everybody, I think I covered it all. Let's get outside so you can see this color outside. Thanks for watching, and thank you so much, Name Brand Wigs. I've enjoyed this so much, and I'm so grateful for you guys. All right, everyone, here we are outside with Bernstein Multi-Shaded. Let me untuck her. Quite windy out here. But you know what that does? It allows you to see what unbelievably natural movement this has. I mean, just great movement, and with the hand-tied cap, you're not going to have to worry about seeing wefting, and it's low density, so it just looks super, super natural. Beautiful color. Slight rooting, nothing extreme. Make sure I get up close for you guys. It's such a cute little piece. Make sure I'm not creating any shadows. Nice and warm, dark, maybe dark blonde, light brown, ever so slight hints of auburn, really beautiful. All right, there you go. Thanks for watching, you guys.